Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. The show did not die. The show did not die. I will tell you what happened, and I am super embarrassed, and I am very sorry about this. My cat just stepped on my PC power button and cut it off. I was like, what is going on? My screens went black. I looked down, my cat's sitting there looking at me on top of my PC on the power button. I am so sorry, guys. Give everybody a couple minutes to get back in here. Golly. This is supposed to be a professional operation, too, huh? Sorry, fellas. I am so sorry. Jeez. No. It's super cold here today, but no weather issues. The power didn't go out or anything. Winnings need to go towards him. Hell, he just got a new huge cat tree. It's like a 5 foot cat tree, man. All right. Let's get back into it, boys. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. But as I was saying, if OG misses, I expect Campaign or Miles McBride to start. Whichever one starts, I like. Even the backup, I think, is fine in your tournaments. But either one is fine, in my opinion. Not interested in Jared Butler, Chris Dunn, Luke Kennard, Craig Porter, Keaton Wallace, Trey Jones, Mijic, Gabe Vincent is playable today. With Luke out, I don't mind some Gabe Vincent in a 150. Then nobody else through here I am interested in. In fact, all these guys are just getting taken out of the player pool. Let's move it over to the 2 guard. Devin Booker, I have no interest today. I would just rather play KD. He is questionable. Last I read said that he was good to go. But just keep an eye on it if you're playing him. He's pulling 12% ownership, which is just too much for me. I think it's a solid stand for me to make on the slate personally. Is I'm going to fade that 12% ownership and just lean towards KD if I am playing a Sun. Then most of the other guys through here we've talked about. Jaylen Brown is not really on my radar today. 4% owned. I'm just not there. Not there. Austin Reeves, I like a lot. Big shout out to my boy Austin Reeves for screwing me out of cashing last night because he was in every one of my showdown lineups. He was ejected 27 minutes into yesterday's game. Should still be fresh for this game. And there's no Luka. So happy to play some Austin Reeves today. The price is a tad bit high, but I don't mind it. No interest in Dyson Daniels. Norm Powell, I'm not interested in at all. Desmond Bane, I like a lot. If you don't want to or you can't play Ja, I really like Desmond Bane against Indy today, and this game environment's incredible. Desmond Bane provides you a pretty solid floor. And this environment, he could provide you with a great upside as well. Really like some Desmond Bane, especially in cash games. I don't play cash, but perfect cash play today. Christian Braun, I'm interested in seeing what they're doing with him. This was my guy before the All-Star break. He was making me tons of money. Just balling. They refused to raise his price. They finally did it, 7K. Still not where it should be. He could be coming off the bench again with Russell Westbrook back. Jamal Murray's questionable, but I believe he plays. I think he's upgraded to probable. Interested to see what kind of starting lineup they run. Are they going to put Russ in it? Are they going to continue to run with Braun? Lionstar thinks they're going to continue to run with Braun, and I hope that's what they do. But if Braun is starting, I love him today. Gonna have a ton of him. Talked about Simons White. Kelly Oubre I have zero interest in. He's the fourth option on the team with Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey all healthy. And Grimes has been playing really well lately, too. Zero interest in Brad Beal. Mikal Bridges, I like. Now, I do prefer Hart and Cat over Bridges. And I would say I even prefer whichever value piece starts as well. I believe it's pretty much confirmed Precious will, but between Cam and Miles. But Bridges is still viable and grading out well today. I never like playing Bridges because he always lets me down, but he has shown he does have a ceiling in there somewhere, and there's no better team to play against than Chicago. Devin Vassell, I really like him today. Now, I would say if I'm ranking the Spurs today, number 1 for me is Fox, 2 is Paul, 3 is Vassell, and 3 is Castle, and 4 is Vassell. But he still looks great. I'm happy to get to him today. Caris LeVert's just too expensive for me today, but he should play huge minutes. If you're feeling risky, I really like LeVert as a get different play. Only pulling 1% ownership. This is the type of play I would really like for a guy like 8-Legged Ape who builds contrarian lineups. I know you're in the chat, and I'm anxious to see your wacky lineup you build today, buddy. No interest in Ayo, not interested in Keon Johnson. Benedict Matherin's coming off the bench. He's just too pricey for me at this point, but he is another play that I don't mind as a get different play today. The 6-man role, I think it's going to suit him a lot better. No interest in Kamara. We talked about Castle. No interest in Nimhard. Quentin Grimes in 150 maxes is fine. Shane Sharp 150 maxes is fine. Hey, there we go, 8. Not interested in Max Strus. We talked about Drew Holiday. Not interested in Grayson Allen. Nick Smith Jr. I don't mind today. Without LaMelo on the court, I don't mind some Nick Smith Jr. today. But he will be in my 150 maxes. Not interested in Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, Banton. Talked about Porter. Not interested in Bogdanovich at all. Julian Strawther, I'm only interested if Aaron Gordon or MPJ miss. If they are in, then I will have none of them. Gary Trent Jr., not interested. Ball is intriguing. Ball is intriguing. He was a DNP last night. If for some reason they come out and said he starts, then yeah, I'm locking him in, but I highly doubt that happens. Jordan Goodwin, I don't mind today without any Luka in a 150 max. He's fine. What happened to Melo's dad? And what Melo are you talking about? Because I'm old. When you say Melo, I think Carmelo Anthony Chubbs. I think Carmelo Anthony. What happened to Paul George? What do you mean? I think Jalen Wells is fine in a 150 max today. No interest in Sam Merrill. Not interested in Connect. Although in a deep 150 max, he could get intriguing, just like 1 out of 150 lineups. Not interested in Vince Williams or KCP. Josh Green's fine. Ben Shepard, no interest. Champagne, I don't mind. LaMelo's dad got his foot amputated? What? Are you serious? No, I didn't see that. What the hell happened? But Champagne, 150 max guy for me. Seth Curry, yeah, just a 150 max. No interest in Rollins, no interest in Council, no interest in Green, Jackson, Matthews. No interest in the rest of these guys. Move over small forward. Tatum is just not grading out as well as I thought he'd be. If I land on him, I'm never going to he's not a guy I'm going to take out of my player pool. If I build 150 lineups and a couple of them land on him, I'm leaving him in. He's not going to be replaced, but I'm not targeting him in my single entries. LeBron played very well last night. He was my captain in showdowns. Don't mind him. He did play 38 minutes last night. Did play 38 minutes, and he is like 87 years old, so you got to keep that in mind. But Luka's not going to be on the court. We know AD's not going to be on the court. It's all going to fall to LeBron and Reeves, like LeBron today. Kevin Durant, I mentioned when I brought up Devin Booker. Don't mind KD today. Don't mind him. I would prefer KD to Devin Booker. He's pulling less ownership, and I just think he has a better upside. Franz and Paulo. I lean Franz, but it's really a coin flip. It's whichever guy's going to decide to take over today. Really like this matchup for both of them. So I have a slight lean towards Franz Wagner, but they are both in a great position, and either one of them is fine. Miles Bridges. Now, I am not expecting Miles Bridges to drop 52 fantasy points again today, but I do like Bridges. LaMelo's not out there. He's 19% owned, which I really don't like, but he's only $8,200. I'm happy to get to Bridges today. Talked about Reeves, talked about Powell, talked about Bain, talked about PG. No, we did not talk about PG. I have no interest in PG. I don't. I'm really not interested in the Sixers at all today. I might get sprinkles of Quentin Grimes. That's about it. Not interested really in Kawhi Leonard. He's had plenty of time to rehab, get back on the floor, get into game shape, the whole 9 yards. And he is playing 30-plus minutes his last 3 games he has. But I'm not quite sold yet. And I know that sounds crazy for a player like Kawhi, but I'm just still taking a wait-and-see approach. He's pulling 22% ownership, which I think is just massive for Kawhi today. If Kawhi kills me on this slate, I can live with it. Michael Porter Jr., if he plays, I think he's a solid play. I really like MPJ today. He's just been playing so much better lately, but he is questionable. Not interested in Denny. If he starts for Jeremy Grant, who is questionable, I could definitely see myself having some in 150s, but I'm not going to have him in a single entry. Kyle Kuzma's fine. I do think Giannis plays this game, so it's really going to cut into Kuzma's usage. But I still don't mind Kuzma. He's fine. Just kind of if he lands in the lineup, so be it. I hate the matchup against Cleveland, but Cam Johnson's grading out pretty well. Don't mind him today. If OG plays today, he's fine. I'm not so sure he plays, though. Rui Hachimura, I really like. I think he's getting overlooked. He's only pulling 1% ownership. Now, I get it. $6K is a lot to pay for a guy like Rui, but Rui has a solid upside and a pretty consistent floor as well. Plays huge minutes. Luka's not going to be out there. I could easily see Rui being the third option behind LeBron and Reeves. I like Rui a lot today. Another one of those plays, I think Eight-Legged Ape would be on there. Very contrarian, but really like Rui today. I'm not interested in Keon Johnson. We talked about Mathurin, talked about Kamara. Jeremy Grant, if he plays, is just okay, but I'm not going out of my way to target Jeremy Grant at all. Quentin Grimes is fine. Talked about Sharp. Not interested in DeAndre Hunter. If you land on DeAndre, I wouldn't panic. Because this entire price range just kind of sucks. But not a guy I'm targeting. Buzelis, 150 max only. No interest in Strus. Royce O'Neal's fine. No interest in Allen Williams. Rishier, G.G. Jackson. Do like Harrison Barnes today. Pulling 23% ownership. Should easily get 28, 29, 30 minutes today. And I'll take that for a $4,600 guy. And really, everyone down through here, I have no interest in at all. If you got a question about any of them, I'll happily answer your questions, but none of these guys are intriguing me at all. It's weird because it's a huge slate with Daquan. If he plays, I could stomach. It's a huge slate, but we don't have very much value because we're coming off the All-Star break. Moved over to power forward. Poor Wimby. He's done for the year. We got some news coming in. What we got? Kelly Olynyk. Oh, that's for tomorrow. That's for tomorrow. Giannis, I think he plays. If he does, he's fine. I'm never going to tell you not to play Giannis. He's only pulling 2% ownership, but the matchup against the Clippers is a tough one, and not one I'm targeting. He will not be in my single entries. Talked about Tatum, James, LeBron. Evan Mobley, absolutely viable. Man, right before the All-Star break, he broke the slate with 66 fantasy points. Don't mind the matchup against the Nets. If he falls into your lineup, I think it's a great play. But then again, it's not a guy I'm building my lineup around. Triple J, a little too pricey for me. I love the game environment here, and I really wanted to talk myself into Jaren Jackson today, but he's just a bit too expensive for me. I want exposure to this game. I'll get it in Ja. I'll get it in Bane. Might even have some sprinkles of Edie, but I just can't pay $8,500 for Jaren Jackson. We know he's got the upside. We do. So if you roster him, I don't blame you. But I would just rather pay $300 less and get Pascal Siakam in the same game environment. Porzingis, he's fine. Don't mind some Porzingis today. Jared Allen, I do prefer Mobley to Allen today, but Allen's pretty consistent. So if you're playing a cash game, really like some Jared Allen. If you need a last guy in that you know is going to be safe, I think Jared Allen is that guy. What kind of news do we get? Magic's going to start Anthony, KCP, Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. Talked about most of these guys. I think Okongwu's fine. I just hate this matchup so much. If he lands in my lineup, I'm not gonna change it up, but not someone I'm targeting. Talked about pretty much all of these. Precious Achiuwa, I hate the price on him, but you cannot deny the fact that this is a great matchup. He's gonna get plenty of minutes. And he just showed you the last game he played that he has that upside with a 46 fantasy point game. Really like some Precious Achiuwa today. Not interested in OG. Bobo, I don't mind. If you're chasing a huge upside player, I think Bobo's that guy. And they really don't have anyone to contest him on the Spurs. I think, and I could be wrong, I think the Spurs are going to start Jeremy Sohan at the 5 and try to play small ball. And if they do that, Bobo should be able to feast. So I definitely like Bobo more than the field does today. Yeah, possibly 8, but on a slate this big, I'm not trying to roster any backups. Talked about Rui, talked about Ben, Grant. Aaron Gordon, I'm not interested in, even if he plays really. If you land on him, he's fine, but I'm not there. Not there on Goga. Not there on Santi. Or Yabasule. Sohan. Whether Sohan starts or not, I still like Sohan. He's pulling 21% ownership, which, yes, it's a lot, but I really, really like some Jeremy Sohan today. Only 5,100, far too cheap for him. Point blank. And no interest in Toppin, no interest in GG Jackson. Talked about Barnes. Not interested in Horford or Jones. Gorgeous Niang or Muhammad Guy. I like them both. Guy, when he starts, he pretty much just plays 15 to 20 minutes. But he's a great producer. He really is. So it's kind of a punt playing him. But I don't mind at my 150 maxes. And Niang, he's been getting solid minutes with the team. He's played 26, 24, and 34. Happy to roster some Niang today as well. Not interested in Clark or Watford. Tijani, he's okay in a 150 max. Not interested in Najee or Hauser. Keldon Johnson. I haven't seen anyone talking about Keldon Johnson. Now, his ownership did go up since I looked at him last. Earlier it was at 5%. It's at 10 now. He's only 4K. Only 4K. I know he has not been producing, but he should get more minutes today. He should. So I like Keldon Johnson also as a punt play. Not interested in Naismith, Isaac, Wilson. DFS, super intriguing. Super intriguing. Played 28 minutes yesterday, dropped 22 fantasy points. I think he could absolutely ball again today. That is a great value piece here, only $3,900. And nobody else through here I am interested in. Let's move it over to center, the most intriguing position on the slate in my opinion today. My favorite center today is Joker because of ownership. He's pulling 5% owned right now, guys. 5% owned for Nikola Jokic. Last time he played Charlotte, he dropped 80 fantasy points. 80. We know Nurkic's defense is awful. Diabate cannot contain Joker. I love Joker today at this minuscule ownership. Joel Embiid I'm not interested in at all because you can get Karl Anthony Towns for cheaper. Now, Cat, if it wasn't for ownership, Cat would be my favorite play at center. But he is pulling a massive 30% ownership, guys. 30% owned. That is huge on this big of a slate. I like Cat today. I do. And if I was building a cash lineup, I don't play cash, but if I did, he would be my center. I'm just fading the ownership. I like him. I'm telling you he is a good play. But I'm also telling you I'm going to probably cap my exposure at 15%. Talked about most of these guys here. Zubac, I'm not that interested in today. Vuk, I'm not that interested in today. He's grading out well, so if you want to rock it, I understand why. I'm just not there. Talked about all these guys. Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner quite a bit because he's pulling no ownership. Only 6% owned. The total is 250 points for this game. Memphis ranks 28th against centers. I think Turner's getting overlooked today, guys. Really, really like some Miles Turner. Donovan Clingan, he is fine. He's the same price as Miles Turner is the big issue. I would rather get to Turner. And Klingan's pulling 1% more ownership. But Klingan showed us when he gets the minutes, he's on 1.40 fantasy point per minute player over his last 20 games. He's a baller. I'm not interested in Nick Claxton, but he is grading out well. And last game he did play 32 minutes, so if you land on him, absolutely viable. No interest in Bryant, Goga, Aldama, Brooke Lopez, Nurkic, Edie, Diabate, Drummond, Capella. No interest in any of these guys. Nurkic is going to pull far too much ownership. He could easily play 16 to 17 minutes tonight and Diabate play the other backup minutes. Just too risky for me to risk it with Nurk tonight. Jackson Hayes is playable. He let me down in Showdown last night. Only played 18 minutes. Yikes. I'll have him in some 150 maxes, though. Not interested in Williams. Nick Richards is definitely playable today. Without the Spurs having a true center. They got Sandro. They got Bismack Biyombo. I'm not interested in either one of them, though. I really think that the Spurs try to run small tonight. And other than the ones we've talked about, I'm not interested in anyone through here. If you want to take a punt on Sandro, be my guest. You're fine with it. I actually just got an autographed card of his. Last box I opened. Bismack Biyombo, I do not think Bismack Biyombo plays more than 13, 14 minutes today. I will have none of him. None of him. I will take punts on Sandro, but no Biyombo for me. And that pretty much does it for FanDuel. You guys got any FanDuel questions before I swap to DK? Just taking all these guys out of my player pool. Brendan Clark, I'm not interested. Alright, swap it over to DK. Just going to go really quickly through DK. Elf Payton, yet again. I hate to play a guy like Alfred Payton today, but you can't deny the fact he's going to be starting. He's 4K. He is cheap as they get. So I don't mind him. I'm going to be playing him. De'Aaron Fox I absolutely love today. Going to be just pretty much my most owned player on DK. I can already confidently say that it's going to be Fox. The lineups I don't have Fox, I'm going to have Chris Paul. 5,300, just far too cheap for him over here today. Absolutely love him. Campaign, I like at 3,300. I'm wanting him to start, but even if he doesn't start, I think he is absolutely playable at 3,300. Jalen Brunson looks just as good over here as he did on FanDuel. Love him. Simons is just okay. Miles McBride, same deal as on FanDuel. I love him and Payne today, but I prefer whichever one is starting if OG misses. Not interested in Dame, not interested in Tyus Jones, not interested in Harden, Booker, Keon, TJ, D'Lo, Garland. Do still love Austin Reeves. Hate the price, but do love it. Donovan Mitchell at only 8,300, definitely more stomachable. I can rock him. No interest in Derek White, Ty Jerome. Still like Stephon Castle. But Payton, Fox, Payne, Brunson, Payne / McBride. Those are my main ones for DK. The 2-guard, a lot of the same names. Still love Christian Braun over here, and I still think he'll go overlooked. 1% owned, still going to be rocking him. Still love Desmond Bane over here. Same prices on FanDuel, only 3% owned. Really like some Bane. Not interested in Strus or Booker. I do like Vassell. Not interested in Johnson, Powell. Nick Smith Jr. absolutely in play. He is in play. Mikal Bridges is definitely in play. Looks good. Zero interest in Kelly Oubre. Not interested in Colby White. Still like Karis LeVert a lot. And over on DK, he is easier to get to. Really like some Karis LeVert over here. Small forward, LeBron still looks amazing over here. I'm happy to play LeBron. Matherin's okay. He's just okay for me. Cam Johnson's fine. Harrison Barnes, 4,800. I'm happy to pay that. Royce O'Neal, a little too expensive for me. Not interested in Max Strus, Franz Wagner. You guys know I really like him today. Not interested in Norm Powell. Michael Porter Jr., if he plays, I like that price, 6,600. A lot of upside there at that price. That's about all I got. I will say, yeah, you just touched on it. Quentin Grimes is fine. Don't mind some Quentin Grimes. Power forward, Sohan. I'm going to be locking Jeremy Sohan in. I just am. Precious is a great play. I'm going to have a lot of Precious. Santi Aldama, 150 max guy. Bobo, I love over on DK. Going to have all the Bobo. I'm going to be locking in Bobo, to be honest. Sandro, bone cheap. He's just a pun over on FanDuel. Definitely more in play on DK, where he's just the bone minimum price. DFS still looks great. I'm happy to get to him. Harrison Barnes looks great. Siakam looks awesome at 7,800. I like Paolo. Do prefer Franz, but Paolo is solid. Not going to be getting Aaron Gordon. Miles McBride's just okay. I like KD quite a bit over here. Niang's fine. And then at center, I know he's cheap, but I'm still not that high on Wendell Carter Jr. You can play him, it's fine, but I'm just not there. Nurk, he's so much cheaper over here, it brings him in play on DK. I'm going to personally be fading it because he's 21% owned, but he's definitely playable. Donovan Clingan, 5,600. It's just too cheap for him. It's too cheap for Donovan Clingan over here. Love some Donovan Clingan. Cat, he looks awesome. Happy to play Cat. I will say this. I like Precious and I like Cat. I don't want to play them together. Okongwu, he's just okay. Vooch is just okay. Zach Edey at 4,700 in this game environment. Sign me up. Now it's risky. He could get in foul trouble, but it's very cheap for a great game environment right there. Claxton's just okay. Joker looks insane. You guys know I really like him today. Miles Turner, 6K. It's just too cheap for this game environment. Love him today. Jared Allen, 6,500, feels cheap. I'm fine going there. Zubac, he feels cheap, but I just won't land on him. There's so many other center options I like more. Not interested in Day'Ron Sharp. Joe Embiid, he's just worth a punt if you're playing 150 max. That's really all I got for DK. If you guys got any questions, hit me with them. I'm going to post the cores in the Discord. If I can get this pulled up. Who are the main pay-ups that you guys are really, really targeting today? Very interested to hear. Porzingis, Triple J, and Murray. Interesting. I knew yours would be different. Over on FanDuel, your wasteland is small forward. Small forward kind of sucks today. Looks like we got some kind of news. What we get? Isaac Okoro will play today. Who would have thought? Yeah, it hurts him a lot. I truly have no lean if Dame is going to play or not. Like, I'm playing the slate like he said it or setting out, but I'm not going overboard on Okoro, if that makes sense. Or sorry, on KPJ. And I have two picks I want to make core, but they both play freaking power forward. Ty Jerome's gonna play as well. I don't know. I looked it up earlier, 8, and I couldn't find anything. I found news that Giannis practiced yesterday in full, but I could not find anything on Dame. Yes, sir, Power. Guys, got any questions? Hit me with them. That's what I'm here for. I'm a free resource for you to use while you are building your lineups. Let's take a look. You said on DK? Yeah. Small forward's kind of the wasteland. It's got to be Kawhi Leonard, Kyle. If that's, I mean, personally, I would. probably slot in Karis LeVert if it was me, and then I would use that salary elsewhere. But if you have to just last guy in need one, it's going to be Karis LeVert there. Yeah, of course, Don. Do I like Goodwin as a cheap option on FanDuel? I like him as a cheap punt play. So when I say that, Derek, I wouldn't rock Goodwin in a single entry. But if I'm multi-entering, then yeah, I'm fine with it. All the core plays are posted in the Discord now. Relax. What's up, Shannon? We got some news coming across. Dame is available to play limited minutes. Giannis is available to play limited minutes. Huh. Huh. Makes you wonder what limited minutes really means, huh? Brunson, Fox, Payton, Merrill, Levert, Smith. When you say Smith, which one? Is it Dorian Finney-Smith? Because I love him. And I think Nick Smith is playable. But I definitely do not like Sam Merrill in that, Don. I would personally replace Sam Merrill with Cameron Payne. Oh, you're talking about Jalen Smith? Yeah, Jalen Smith's viable over on DK. I had no Godwin last night myself. I think Russ is just okay. He's going to be a punt in my 150s. Well, not necessarily a punt in my 150s. I haven't run it yet to see, but I don't anticipate I'll have more than, say, 10 lineups with Russ in them. Andre Jackson is available to play. Yeah, Power. As I was saying that to start the show, right off the All-Star break, there's just not much value. Sixers going to start Maxi Grimes, Oubre, George, and Embiid. Paul George playing the 4. It's in the DFS plays chat. You got to sign up with Dub Club, and then it'll give you access to it. I do like Quentin Grimes. Buzelis is just okay for me today, running man. He's just okay for me today. I think there's better options than Buzelis, but if you're playing in a tournament, need to get different play, I think Buzelis is fine. Yeah, man. That is what I'm here for, guys. If you guys got any questions like that about the slate or anything, let me know. Just open another tab, start building your lineups, and I am here in the background. When you run into a hiccup, just ask away. That is what I'm here for. He's just okay for me. Simons is just, again, kind of like Buzelis. He's fine. We did get news Norm Powell was ruled out. Norm Powell was just ruled out. Um, Simons is pulling no ownership, only 1% owned. He's grading out just okay, but he does have an upside. Norm being out's not going to do a ton for me, but it is going to make Kawhi Leonard look a little better. I don't think it's going to make Kawhi a must play, but he is going to look better. Yeah, your lineup looks much better now, Kyle. Yeah, so running man. I love Rui Hachimura today. He's one of my favorite lower owned plays. What site? FanDuel or DK running man? We'll take a look at it. But I can tell you off rip, I really like some Rui today. On DK, okay, let me check that. Celtics start Holiday, White, Brown, Tatum, Porzingis. That's just who we thought. And what position? Like I know what Rui is, but do you have utility open, or do you just have small forward open or power forward? Like what's the position that you're trying to fill here, running man? Nursing and Cat together? Who are you talking about, Don? I'm not playing any Precious Achua and Cat together today, if that's what you're asking. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm not totally against it, but I'm personally, when I'm building, trying to avoid it. Okay, utility. Let's take a look at utility 6100, and I'm going to look by just pure projection, right? Let's see here. So, Donovan Clingan, I personally love today. That is who I would go with. Um, I would personally go with Donovan Clingan. Looking down the line, and I'll list it for you. Like in order for me, it would be number 1, Donovan Clingan. Number 2, Precious, if you don't have Cat. Number 3, Miles Turner. Number 4, Rui. Number 5, Chris Paul. That's how I would personally play it. Oh, Brunson and Cat. Yeah, I wouldn't. If I'm hand building one lineup, I'm gonna try to avoid them being in the same lineup. But they both are grading out so well. I'm not 100% against it. If that's what I'll land it on, I'm fine with it. Grizzlies starting Morant, Bain, Jalen Wells, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zach Edey. So Jalen Wells, solid play in a great game environment there, guys. Pacers. My phone just made it go away. Halliburton, Nemhard, Naismith, Siakam, Turner. Chris Dunn and Amir Coffey will start today. Heads up, eight-legged ape. I know you like Chris Dunn. Of course, man. That's what I'm here for. So Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey starting, guys. That is pretty big news. That is pretty big news. I think Chris Dunn looks really good if he's starting. So, if I'm reading this right, they're going to start James Harden, Chris Dunn, Kawhi, Amir Coffey, and Zubac. I need to get my FanDuel CSV downloaded. Elf Payton's still the chalkiest player on the board. And I'm going to have some Elfrid Payton today, guys, but I want to cut that ownership in half. I want 15% max. Okay? That's where I'm at. Because Elf, while he is cheap and can easily pay off that salary, he could also easily let you down in a heartbeat. Just try to play it safe with him. Nurk is coming for Joker. Hey, come on now. Come on now. You talking about the best center in the NBA and Nurk is coming for him? Come on now. Lamar Stevens going to sign a 10-day contract with the Grizzlies. For all you Lamar Stevens fans out there. I will tell you, I like Joker today, but that 17.5 point spread does make me a little nervous. And then I look and see he just dropped 80 fantasy points on him last game they played, and I'm like, okay, this ain't so bad. $20 boards for Nurk. I'm going to double down on you, 8, and I'm going to say he doesn't get 10 boards. His past 2 games, he's played 16 to 18 minutes, and he's got 8 rebounds in each of them. I'm probably going to eat my words on that one. Yeah, after looking more into it, I feel more certain that he's gonna do pretty well. Projection for KCP, it hasn't updated yet. Oh, you talking about, my bad, my brain's not working. Contavious Caldwell Pope, only 16.5. The public's at 18.5. I would not be on KCP. You got better options at the 2 guard today. Say you only have $3,600 at the 2 guard. I'd be much more inclined to play Campaign for $3,300, personally. Hey, we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. Can you play Fox and Paul together? Yeah, you can. You can. I again like the Nick situation. That's one I would personally try to avoid. But if that's what you land on, then that's fine. It's fine. 11% Watford. Yeah, he kept grading out decently for me. I'm just not there. I'm not punting on Watford today. Bobo, Sohan, or Barnes? my brother, that is a tough one because I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Sohan and Bobo both look incredible today. Hey, thank you, HLHS. I would say Sohan's your safer option. Bobo is a better tournament play, but I truly love them both, and I'm pretty confident my single entry on DK, I'm gonna have both of them in it. What you could do is I can't remember without looking right now. Roster whichever one's more expensive, and if Sohan doesn't start, I'm projecting him to start. Line Star's projecting him to start, but if he doesn't start, then just swap to Bobo. Looks like I'm getting 60% Franz Wagner. That is a lot. 51% Quentin Grimes. That is a lot. 15 minutes to lock, guys. You got questions, get them in. That is what I'm here for. We do these shows every single day, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Helps tremendously. Um, with that being said, also linked in the chat down below in the below the stream is our Discord. After the slate starts, you can always ask me questions in there. Get access to our cores. I post my core in there every day we have a game. It's the core pieces I build my lineups around. Happy to share those with you. Only $10 a month. But you can join the Discord for free and talk basketball all you want. No, Ben Simmons does not look good at all to me. I would not want any Ben Simmons today, personally. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know that, and just in case you did not know, Giannis is on a minutes limit. Giannis is on a minutes limit. Uh, Giannis is 5.5% and Tatum is 10.2%. 6,300 for your utility spot. It's probably going to be Donovan Clingan. Yeah, Donovan Clingan for me. That would be my last guy in personally. Look at the DK ownership here. Sohan, Brunson, Bobo, Cat, Peyton. Top 5 in ownership over here. You got Bobo and Clingan? Let's go back and look at it then. You said 6,300. Precious Achua. Yeah, it would be Precious Achua. That's who I would be rocking in it. Russell Westbrook available to play. We figured he was, but makes us feel a little better when we get that confirmation, huh? I like that, Don. Johnny Davis released by the Grizzlies. $10 to lock, gentlemen. Cat outscoring Joker. See, that's the stand I'm making on this slate, right? I am I'm leaning towards the Joker side. I'm leaning towards the Joker side. I still like Cat. I'm still gonna have Cat, but I'm gonna be over owned on Joker and under owned on Cat. $4,500 point guard or two guard on FanDuel. Let's take a look here. So right now for me is Chris Dunn, but I think Miles McBride slash campaign, whichever one is starting for OG Anunoby, becomes very intriguing as well. So that's where I would play it, Shannon. Chris Dunn for now, but McBride slash Payne, whichever one starts, if one of them does for OG, would probably take it. Ben Simmons is not interesting at all. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, I like that, Don. I like that. Cavs starting Garland, Mitchell, Struce, Mobley, Allen. Chris Paul by a mile running. Chris Paul. I sure hope USA does. I'm going to be watching it over NBA tonight. Uploading my lineups now. Yeah, I love hockey. I love hockey. I love watching hockey. Yeah, it's really not even close on that one for me, buddy. It's Chris Paul by a mile. Levert or CP3 in a GPP. I'll have to look at their ownership because I like them both. Levert 6%, CP3 17. So straight up, I like Chris Paul a lot more, random man, but ownership wise goes to Karis Levert. So it's really how chalky your lineup is already. If you already have a contrarian piece, I would say Chris Paul. But if your lineup is super chalky, I would change it up to Levert. Hey, love to hear it, Running Man. I just want to see you guys win. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want to see you guys dominate. Two minutes to lock, guys. You got any last second questions? Get them in. Get them in. OG was ruled out, so Miles McBride, Cam Payne, both gonna look great. Both gonna look great, guys. Thank you, guys. Hey, I want to see you guys take down. Join the Discord. Love to see you guys in there. If you have any questions after the slate locks, that's where you can find me. You can at me in there at any time, guys. Anytime. With that, I'm out of here, gentlemen. Thank you for everything, guys.